Welcome to another episode of Live, Love, and Marry Wiser, where our mission is in our name. Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding. When you generously give us your time, every Tuesday evening, we pray, we plan, and we prepare for you to access wisdom for your life and relationships through all of the hosts and the awesome guests that have joined us on the program. This series, we are looking at wisdom from the perspective of hindsight. Good evening. I am Lorraine Edwards here with our next episode, and it's wise choices that moved her from sickness to wholeness. I was going to introduce our guest host, but she is unable to be here, as are the other hosts. So you have me and our special guest tonight so we can focus. I think that you need to go back and look at the episodes from this season so far. They have been fantastic. And if you haven't seen them, what are you even doing with your life? Thank you for joining us. Now, in the last few weeks, we have been streaming both to Facebook and YouTube, even though YouTube is our platform. And we are going to have to stop doing that. Why? Because YouTube is our main platform. We want to grow that. And when people are watching through Facebook, we aren't able to grow our YouTube channel. We want you to come over and subscribe. Please share it, like it. You can like it right now. Just hit that thumbs up right now. This is how other people get access to the information that don't know about us, because it's recommended in their feed. Oh, they were talking about emotional enmeshment. Oh, I need to know about that. They were talking about a player and an unskilled father. I need to know about that. Today, we are talking about from sickness to wholeness, and you definitely want to know about that. So at the end of this month, we're going to stop streaming to Facebook, and we will be streaming only to our YouTube channel. So please come on over, a single mission, and subscribe so that you can be a part of the conversation here on YouTube. So again, our topic, our title for today is Wise Choices That Moved Her from Sickness to Wholeness. And the her that I have joyfully invited to be on the program is Penny McPherson. If you will just sit back for a second, we will show you her intro. Welcome, Penny. How are you?
I am well. How are you? Good to see you, Lorraine. And hello to everyone watching.
Hello to everyone. It is good to see you too, Penny. I am so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for taking this time. I know this is a crunch time for you because something fun's about to happen, and you squeezed me in right here at the last minute before y'all. She's going to Costa Rica. Can you believe that? Well, let me say she's going back to Costa Rica, and you'll hear more about that as we talk. Penny, if you don't mind, if you could just share a little bit about yourself with our audience.
Certainly. I am Penny, also known as Plant-Based Penny. And after decades dedicated to corporate America, leading in corporate America, I was led to move abroad where I practice all things plant-based. I immersed myself in plants as medicine, and I had the wonderful opportunity to sit at the feet of practitioners and gurus and attend medical missionary school and wellness retreats and just immerse myself not only in the plant-based education, but also in the culture, learning a new language. And that was one of the 7 countries and 3 continents that I spent my time, where I took my 2-year time out while living abroad.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. I love it. Obviously, it's clear that we're friends, so I know some of this story. And but I wanted to introduce it to you all because this is really a from sickness to wholeness story. And the thing that, see, when you come up with titles, there's all these like rules and YouTube, and you're trying to, hit the algorithm, and you're trying to kind of make it so people are interested. And so originally the title was From Sickness to Health. That was the first obvious title for me. And then I was just like, well, no, she's not really just healthy, because health means a lot of different things. And so I was like, well, from sickness to wellness. So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of it. This actually happened within like a 5-minute span. It wasn't like thought over time. But then I thought, no, from sickness to wholeness. Mm-hmm. And the reason that I thought that is because of knowing you. Mm-hmm. It's not just like, to me, I didn't even really know you that well in the sickness part. So I want you to start there. But through the journey, the thing that has really impressed me is that it's not just been about your health, your physical health. It's been about all of areas of your health, but also your purpose and your ministry. And so for me, that's what wholeness is about. That's part of what we want to teach here. Like, especially as we've targeted single people, single women, but many people watch, and we love that. But that you have to be whole before you try to get your better half, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Your better whole, really. We say better half, but you really want to get your better whole.
Who wants to have a person? Who wants to have a person?
Exactly. And so that's why I was like, oh, wholeness, that to me represents what Penny is living, like her wholeness. And she's not whole because she has a husband, y'all. She does have a husband. She'll mention him. She's not whole because of that. That's part of her journey of wholeness, but we can be whole within our singleness as well. So Penny, start please telling me the story of the from sickness part. Tell me about that part of your life.
Well, how much time you have? Well, the sickness part, actually, I was sick before I realized that I was sick.
Come on, you're gonna start out the gate like right.
Yeah. I like your mug. Oh, very nice.
I know you do.
When I was a teenager, I was, taking diet pills. When I was also a teenager, I had allergies all the time. I was constantly popping these little red pills to try to solve the inflammation and the mucus. That was another problem. And I also just I have never been a skinny person or even fit, well, now, but when I was younger, I was always, as grandma would say, pleasingly plump. I was always plump. They would say, oh, don't worry about it. Only a dog wants a bone. So I always carried extra. So it was after I got to be a little bit older, past the 20s. And then I started going to doctors more often. I started having to take prescription pills, and then, mounting up, with tests, with diagnoses. And at one point I had high cholesterol, overweight, of course, that was there, but high cholesterol. My cholesterol was high. I was pre-diabetic. I also had fibroid and thyroid problems now, and Graves' disease is what I was diagnosed with.
Mm.
And so, it was mounting. I'm giving my money to doctors, specialists, and MRIs and radiology. Radiologists made a
Wow.
lot of money off of me. And so I just got tired of it. I mean, I was working, single at the time, and I wanted my money to be my money. I got tired of giving it away. Like, can I have it? I'm working, right? I'm
Right.
working for it. So why shouldn't I keep it for myself?
And
And
you
so,
weren't even getting a return on that investment.
no,
It's
not
different
at
than,
all.
like you kind of, giving it to them and they weren't really giving you a
Give me
cure.
anything back other than it was. I like to say that it was the solution to the medical problems I was having was pills and bills. Here's a pill, here's a bill. That was all I was getting out
Sounds
of it.
about right. Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Don't worry about it. It'll. And the interesting thing is, they told me when I was young, oh, you have these problems. Oh, don't worry about it. It's a small thing right now. Because really, I love my medical professional friends.
Right.
But from the 7 countries that I told you about, in some of those countries, I also had the opportunity to interact with the medical system. And in a lot of those countries, European countries or countries on the other side of the pond, and in the South, the South America part, in Latin America, Central America, there was a different attitude toward sickness. One, when you got sick, that's when they felt like that. When you got sick, they felt like they needed to make you well. There wasn't as I see in our system, if you are sick, they can make a lot more money off of you. If you get obese, or if you get one problem, then you can have knee problems, and your knees will be $40,000 they can make off of that. Then if you don't exercise, you can have heart problems. They can make all kinds of new sailboats and vacation homes off of having to do all kinds of procedures on you. My thought process is, well, what else was there? And thank you, Anita. So what else was there? And I don't want to talk too long, but the straw that broke the camel's back for me was when my endocrinologist told me that I was pre-diabetic, and I said, well, because I had diabetics in my family. This was not the first time I heard about diabetic family. I knew what happened to them as they got older, and it was never anything positive.
Right.
And so I said, well, what can I do? What can I do? What else? What can I do besides taking a pill? And he says, oh, there's nothing you can do. You're just going to be diabetic.
Oh,
and I was like, what? I was like, that's not what I want. I didn't
so
want
what's the point of telling me I'm pre-diabetic if it just doesn't mean that it's just a precursor to what I have to inevitably have? It's almost like, why bother me with that news?
To prepare me for the future bills.
Right.
And actually, it was actually a study done, American Diabetic Association says that 70% of the people who are diagnosed with pre-diabetes become full-blown diabetics. So up to 70% of those. And so that's a large percentage. And actually, Lorraine, she was actually right. And I think about this now in hindsight.
Okay.
When I look back on it, she was actually right, because I wasn't exercising, I wasn't eating right, I wasn't following a healthy lifestyle. So her diagnosis of the fact that I was definitely probably going to become diabetic, it was right. She was right. If I stayed on that path, she was absolutely right.
Wow. I love that. That makes sense. So just estimate how old were you when this kind of happened, and was that a turning point, or what was the turning point?
That was a turning point for me. And I was in my mid 40s. I think I was in my mid 40s then, mid to late 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And that did it. In addition to the fact that I wasn't satisfied or happy. I didn't have energy. I was
Mm-hmm.
fatigued. I couldn't fit anything. I was
Mm-hmm.
irritable. There
Yeah.
were a lot of things just mounting on top of it, including the financial,
Right. Right.
flood of money that was flowing out, not
Uh-huh.
flowing in. And so that all of that kind of, and knowing my family history,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
those were some of the things I said, you know what, if I want to live an able-bodied life, because people are living longer now and we think, oh yeah, people are living longer, so we're doing better. But people are living longer in nursing homes, and
Right.
they're immobile or vegetative. They're not living vibrant, healthy, mobile lives. And
Right.
so they're living longer, but you want to live a longer,
More.
able-bodied,
Right.
cognitively acute
Right.
life for as long as you can.
Exactly. You want quality, not just
Yeah,
quantity, you know, because
exactly.
I'm not interested in living to 100 if it's going to be miserable for the last 20 years of that, or 30 for some people, even longer than that, you know. And so that was a turning point. Would you say that that was quote unquote rock bottom for you? They say that people don't turn around till they hit rock bottom.
Mm.
That that's true, or was it just like a wake up call for you that, okay, I got to stop this train going in this direction, or I'm not going to love my life for the rest of it?
Yeah, there were several factors, and I would say, the wake up call was more like, God was like, bam, and he was like, bam again, they're like, bam, like, okay, maybe I should listen again because I'm getting a little bit dizzy from, all of these being knocked down. And
Mm-hmm.
I had a really challenging career, where I was managing, most of the state of Virginia, and just like running back and forth here and there. And I needed to keep up with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, I needed to be healthier to do that. And the other, it was a wake up call, because I believe that, God put me in a specific situation in order for me to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
So he's combined my passion with my purpose.
Yes.
So
Yes.
by doing that, I think that I'm in a unique position to be able to share with someone, yeah, okay, there's a person over here on YouTube and they're telling you, okay, this is how you do X, Y, and Z, but they've always been healthy their entire life. They were the sis boom
Yes.
bottom rah rah,
Yes.
person. And you
Yes.
can learn from
Right.
people
Right.
living other life.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not speaking
Yeah.
against anyone else. You definitely can. But I think that someone who has had a challenge can identify specifically with someone else who has not had that challenge.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. In fact, that program, Fit to Fat to Fit, is based on that concept. The guy who originally did it, he's like, I've been healthy my whole life. and
Mm.
and he's like, but he was a trainer, and he said, so I couldn't understand my clients that were obese, and I would just be like, well, just
Mm.
stop eating, like stop. And he was like, he said he was really kind of rough sometimes. And so I don't know what triggered him, but he decided to gain weight. He gained like 60 pounds,
Mm.
and because he wanted to experience it. And it absolutely changed his life. And he understood the addiction to
Mhm.
food, understood what the additives in food did to you to keep you craving it. He understood how hard he did lose the weight, but he said it was a battle. And they have a show where he did that. And now a lot of trainers do it on the show. But I love that you said that, because obviously we're not saying you have to be overweight or unhealthy in order to help someone. She said that,
Right.
but the fact that she was, and now is, as we start moving into that shift and then the wholeness part, now she can empathize in a way that somebody who hasn't had that experience can't.
Exactly. I think that we talked about living longer and living active and living healthy. I think that everybody has a purpose. And in order to live out our purpose, we, as God wishes that everybody would be in good health, even as our souls prosper. And so, how do we do that? How can we prosper, our souls prosper? We do that by giving. We give to other people, and in whatever way, shape, or form that the Lord has given you to give back to other people. And I believe that keeping the body healthy is an expression of gratitude. It's an expression of gratitude. So how grateful are we? And so that was the feedback that I gave myself on, okay, I want to do this for the Lord, or the Lord could actually use me differently, or he could use me for a longer length, longer days if I'm in better health. Now, let me just say this. I am not perfect base Penny. I am not perfect health, okay? I'm plant-based Penny. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we are not striving for.
Y'all got it, y'all. Y'all understand? She's saying problems to, what is it? Tell me, it's progress.
From problems to progress.
Progress. Yes, with plant-based.
Problems to progress. Yeah. So we're not striving for perfection, but progress.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Because we don't want to set ourselves up.
No, I appreciate that. And I'm going to slip in a question here that I was going to not ask yet, but how did you become Plant-Based Penny? How did that moniker happen? Tell me that story and you can include the answer to that, to the shift from sickness to wholeness, and how that happened. And how did you, I'm kind of combining a lot of stuff. How did you know, or did you know, when you were asking God and you were saying, I want to be grateful, I want to live longer so I can serve you, did you think you would be serving him in this way or just some way, and then God led you to this?
Yeah, I thought I would be working until retirement, which did not happen. For those of you who missed the beginning, I left corporate America and became Plant-Based Penny. And so I became Plant-Based Penny. However, before I left corporate America, I was how do I explain it? I was an unhealthy plant-based eater. Okay. And also I had a little bit of the wrong attitude, because I think a lot of plant-based eaters give us a bad name. People who are vegan or whatever, they have a piousness, or they have a, I'm a little bit better because I can
self-righteousness almost. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I can eat a little bit better or differently. If you can. And I think that gives the wrong perception. And so I had some challenges in that area. I had some challenges in that I was what I call a starchitarian, in that I did not eat meat, but then I ate, just French fries and starches, as the meal, or breads and things like that. But what I learned, because when my cholesterol was high, I was actually a pescatarian at that point. So I was not eating, the meats per se. I was only eating fish. I was only eating fish and eggs. I'm like, what in the world? How can actually, when I was pre-diabetic, same thing. How is this happening? And so I had to, before I even left the United States, I had to immerse myself in what it was that I was doing wrong, because I was doing something incorrectly. And so that journey there, while I was still working my 9 to 5, or even 9 to 9 is what I call it.
Yeah.
Really, there's no such.
I know your schedule, so I know it was not no 9 to 5.
Somebody out there has a 9 to 5. Let me know who that is or what that job is. I don't believe that exists in corporate America. It is how can we do more with less people?
Yep.
And so, so going through that journey and actually realizing that, okay, healthy eating was actually holistic in what it incorporates. And so it incorporated, I just finished a sleep challenge with my plant-based penny group. And I just finished a drink with me challenge for hydration. So it was more than just the diet. It was our sleep, it was our nutrition, it was our exercise.
Right.
All of that and managing stress, all of that came into it. Did I answer your question or parts of the question?
Yes.
Some of the questions.
I'm sorry, I asked too many questions at one time right there. No, you did. You did. So you were plant-based, but you were not healthy plant-based, more like vegan, really. It's because those are different. Vegan food is not necessarily healthy, it's just not animal products.
Right.
Plant-based is a whole different thing, but you were plant-based. And then you said, hey, this isn't something about this ain't right. So then what did you do? How did you learn to actually live holistically?
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Trial and error. So that's why I like the fact that now I can help my clients avoid all the trial, the error, and wasting money because, I've tried so many different options and knowing that to simplify. One, I simplified my life and I also tried my best to simplify my lifestyle as far as the diet was concerned. Okay. And so it was not only taking out the meat, but it was also what can I add to the plate? Right. So looking at that plate and seeing how can I increase the percentage of green on that plate? How can I increase the percentage of vegetables on that plate, the percentage of raw on that plate? And realizing that, fast food was fast death. So most of the fast food or speedy foods restaurants that exist, a lot of them don't exist in other countries. And if they do, the food is different ingredients, as you well know.
That is true. That is true.
And a lot of them do not sell vegetables. So you can come up with an entire meal and not have any vegetable whatsoever. And that is the norm. And most foods that are not good for you have commercials. The foods that don't have commercials are usually the better.
Right. No one's doing a commercial about oranges and broccoli.
Not as much as they're doing about other, the Chiquita banana had a commercial back in the day, and that was about it. But there's been so many unavoidable health consequences that have happened. And they've happened, in my family. I've lost people before that time. And the Bible says, why die before your time? And people say, well, I'm going to die of something anyway. But why die before your time?
Right. And why die when you're with a bad quality of life too? It's like, okay, well, yeah, we enjoy that thing for the moment when you're eating it, to get the dopamine rush, certainly. But then all of the things that come after that, all of the consequences.
Yeah. And to go back to, I think I remember another one of your questions, the wholeness piece came of that. So I was single at that point too. So I became whole. I became whole as an individual person, and everybody's path is not toward marriage. At least I wasn't expecting it or planning it. I was single and satisfied. And so immersing myself in that and growing my relationship with God, and God wished I would be in good health, finding out how the Bible talks about the herbs, and it talks about the herb-bearing plants and the fruits-bearing seeds, and exactly what does that mean and how does that complement the body that He created. So we're fearfully and wonderfully made, and we're fearfully and wonderfully made by a wonderful God, so that we can do a specific work. We're not just here
Here,
Yeah,
this.
this is it. Poof, we're gone. There is a purpose for
Yes.
us being here on this earth. So my purpose is to help people look, live, and feel well with plant-based solutions. And it does not mean that I only work with people who only eat plants.
Okay. I like that. Tell me more about that.
I have several clients. Actually, most of my clients eat something other than plants. That's partially, a challenge to their systems that we work with. And there is, I'm going to say this, it's plant-based, Penny. There is, it is possible to be healthy and still consume something other than plants.
What? Penny, come on.
There's a specific way to do it. There's a specific way to do it. I'll give you one secret for free.
Okay.
Most of the time when you go to a restaurant, if you get, a steak or salmon or whatever it might be, the majority of that plate is not going to be fresh and it's not going to be vegetables. So you need to switch the percentages. And so when I first moved to Costa Rica, in the sodas, the local restaurants, the ones that weren't serving to all of the tourists all the time, they had these portions. And so you got, your rice portion was like this, a little round portion of rice. And here in the country, this side of my plate is going to be the rice. It's going to have the gravy on top of that. That's not this. So it's the portion sizes that actually do matter. And actually knowing, what foods are going to make you look bloated or feel bloated, or your digestive system is going to be uncomfortable, and you have to end up taking Tums, Tagamet, whatever, and acids, because we're not eating properly, we're not sleeping properly, and we're not managing our stress properly. So all of those come into effect, because I always say stress is so important. We're going to have stress. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It is actually learning what to do about it that actually makes a difference.
Nice. So can you tell us about when you started learning this in order to teach it? Like, how did that happen? And what are all these countries you went to?
Okay, very good. So I started, I'm a forever learner. I'm a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
So it's increasing more and more knowledge, and seeking and reading and studying. And when I was here in the United States, and then I was actually led to move abroad, and that just really opened my eyes. So in all of the countries that I went to, I went with the lens of plant-based, of looking for a holistic method of healing. And, I interacted purposefully with different people, whether they were restaurateurs or they're medical professionals, doctors, or holistic practitioners, all of those specifically with how can we use this to heal. And so when I moved to Costa Rica, that new chapter, I immersed myself and actually went to medical missionary school there, learned a wealth of information, and also spent years, not only in Costa Rica, but in Panama and Colombia, but also in Singapore, Philippines, all of the countries, 100% plant-based. So there's no excuse, I'm traveling and I can't, because I'm traveling, I'm on vacation. So there is no vacation from health. There is none of that.
I hear you, Penny. Y'all, you hear her? No vacation from health.
There is no vacation.
Not even like a small vacation, Penny. Like,
there may be a cheap moment, but what happens is people end up taking a cheap moment to a cheap meal, to a cheap day, to a cheap weekend, to a cheap week, to a cheap month, and then the whole year ends up being a cheat.
It's a cheat life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right.
That's not wholeness at all.
Right. Absolutely. No vacation from health. And the rules are really simple though. I mean, the rules that we can live by to be whole is going to be for those who drink it. So is it less alcohol, coffee, caffeinated drinks, and more water. Is going to be that less sugar and more fruits. Once you start replacing your sugar with fruits, then when you go back to fruit, it's going to be really hard to eat it because it's going to seem overly sweet to you.
Right.
That just happened to me yesterday, as a matter of fact. I've been popping my own popcorn.
Okay.
And so I add my own salt to the popcorn. And so I decided yesterday, I'm going to splurge. I'm going to buy some popcorn. I'm going to buy some. And so I was in the grocery store. I shouldn't be hungry when you grocery shop. That's another rule.
Another tip.
Another tip. Bought it. And of course, I ate it while I was in the car. And that's just what I did. So I tried to eat it. But I could only eat like 5, 6 cards. I kept trying to eat another one, saying, well, maybe the next one's going to be. It was so salty. I could not eat it because I was no longer hyperpalative. And that's one thing that we are, the people on the Western diet or the standard American diet, SAD, SAD, those of us on the standard American diet are hyperpalative. So that's why we need the fried chicken from the fast food places, or the burgers, or the fries, because what's in it is it actually, it actually triggers our brain so that we want more. Actually, well, why do people eat so much? I mean, because the chemicals in the brain are telling them eat. And so and because our parasites as well, especially a lot of times. I remember I used to, in hindsight, looking back on the way I ate, I would eat something and then, I need something sweet after this. Those are the parasites going, kiss, send us down something sweet. Send us something. So less meat, more vegetables is another rule. So eating, Paul and I started eating because we learned this practice in Costa Rica, eating a plate of salad and then eating our meal. So one of the rules, a weight loss secret, is to drink water. So drink a whole glass of water to like 16 ounces, 8 to 16 ounces for like 30 minutes, an hour before you eat. Then eat your vegetables, your raw vegetables, your salad. Eat that before you eat your entree. So you've got that water in you, you've got the salad, and then you go into your entree. And then as you practice that, your body's going to want less and less of the other meat.
Did y'all get that? Drink water, 16 ounces, 30 minutes to 30 to 60 minutes before. Eat a big plate of salad, not this much salad. And then eat your entree, your whatever. And that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Penny. I know that time is winding up. We have 1,000 things more we could talk about, but we can't do that today. So maybe you have to come back. But I want to know this from you. A lot of times when we try to make changes, we still have to be in relationship. We still have to be in families. We have friends and they're like, hey, let's go out. Let's do this. All the things that you used to do. How did you navigate those types of pressure? Because peer pressure is for adults too. When you were trying to make the transition, I know there's a point probably where it's just like, okay, this is where I am, but there's still a transition point where it's like, I remember how those things taste. I remember what that's like. I still so how did you navigate that?
Yeah. I don't think I've forgotten the taste of anything. I don't think I have. It's just the discipline for that particular decision that I have to make. So it starts, before you go out with XYZ. You are the master of your refrigerator. you work, you earn money, you buy. So having the discipline not to bring it into the house. So that's just it's only 8 slices of cake, you know, the little in the deli section. I'm gonna take just gonna put it on the counter. It's 8 slices of cake. It's okay. So I'm just gonna have it there. I'm not gonna eat it. I'm gonna eat a little bit of it. So having it in the house presents a problem. Presents a problem. So you establishing that discipline and that discipline in your life and discipline period. So establishing a discipline of devotion, establishing the discipline of walking instead of driving, parking further away from the door and walking or taking the stairs, establishing that discipline, establishing the discipline of actually buying the, you know, the salad ingredients to have in the house instead of the chocolate chip cookies, establishing that individual discipline so that when you go out to whatever it is and they're sitting next to you, my husband eats Doritos. Okay. I used to love Doritos. He sits beside me and he's you know, and so yeah, I tell you the relationship story a whole nother time. You know, love to death though. But now, because I'm just now, I used to be like, "Hey, just give me one day. I don't want any of mine. I want some of his."
Right.
You know, but being able to establish a discipline individually and making it a part of your spiritual journey, so that it's not just a one-off. You have discipline in your life. If you have no discipline in your life,
right,
when you go out, you know, sure, put that right here. Yeah, you having that, I'm gonna have that too, and you will, because you have not established the individual discipline.
That's
so
great.
so it doesn't matter whether you're being tempted to drink or go, you know, have sex in the back of a club or whatever it is. Yeah, if you've established your values and your discipline for what it is to you. I have clients that they are the only plant-based eater in their house, and they have children and they have husbands, and they are committed to their journey. And it's a difficult thing to do. And maybe that, you know, you end up, you know, having, okay, if you're not going to eat, I'll use a non-meat. If you're not going to eat white rice anymore, then maybe at one point you're doing white rice and quinoa and putting that together, you know, and then you just go to the quinoa. But what I did was I was eating the red meat. So I went from red meat, then I went to turkey, and then I went to the chicken. And then I went to fish. And so some people can go straight from pork, some of my clients, and, you know, to vegetables. And other people need to kind of walk along the bridge. So you know what type of person you are.
Yeah.
You know that, okay, if I'm going to do an exercise program, I'm going to go all in, you know, but or maybe you need to just start a little bit at a time. Because there is no one size fits all. So that's why when I do the free consultations, they are specific. I ask a series of questions so that I can help ascertain for them what the best method is. Because what works for Lorraine may not work for Penny.
Right. Exactly. No, I love that. I love that. All right. I'm gonna let Onita ask her question.
Okay.
Do you feel like your spirit? Well, I'm gonna ask it for her. Do you feel like your spiritual walk with God got better after your change? And we will put some scriptures in we have one that she shared with us, and I'm gonna say, but she does have to go shortly. Do you feel like your spiritual?
They moved that appointment, so I'm good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you feel like your spiritual? Okay. Gee, I was rushing. Do you feel like your spiritual walk with God got better after your change? And what are some scriptures you use to encourage your group?
There is an Ellen G. White quote that says that if you can control your diet, if you could have discipline in the area of diet, you can have discipline in any other area of your life. So whatever it is that might come your way, it's sort of like putting on the whole armor, then you're going to be prepared. It's because if you can do, you know, if I can fast for 24 hours, or, you know, if I can get off of the sodas and drink the water. If you can do that, what's that song? Each victory will help you, some other to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, so it's a very true statement when it comes to lifestyle as regarding eating healthier. Each victory is going to help you, some other to win. And so one of the scriptures that I use in my group is Psalms 105, 1 to 3. But also I gave you one Psalms 107, 19, 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's several of them. Okay.
Might as well put that up now.
Okay. And Psalms 107, 19, 20 says that they cry out unto the Lord in their trouble, and he saves them out of their distress. And, it goes on to say that he sent his word to heal them and deliver them from their destruction. And I like that because, one, where does that help come from? From the Lord. So the people who have realized from whence comes their help, they know to cry out to the Lord. Yeah. And they cry out to the Lord in their trouble. A lot of times when we get in trouble, we're like, oh man, we start berating ourselves. We start listening to the enemy. Well, you're no good. You might as well just eat the whole cake and just grab some ice cream too, and don't bother, to do anything to manage your stress, because stress is going to be, the challenge is we have to depend on the word. And that's exactly what that text says. It says he sent his word and healed them. Yeah. But are we opening the word? Do we memorize the Bible texts that are going to help us in those moments? So every morning, I try to do this before I lift my head off my pillow. I repeat that Bible verse to myself. Love it. And before every client consultation that I do, there's a text. That's another text. It's what is it? Psalms 141. 1 and 3. And that one says, "Oh Lord, I call upon you. Please hurry, give ear to my voice. And I call upon you, take control of what I say, oh Lord, and guard my lips." And I do that because I know that there's no healing that comes from plant-based Penny. And that is why God is so integral in this, because all healing comes from God. And then the other text that is Psalms 103, 1 through 5. And that one is, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits." Forget not all the things, in hindsight, what has he brought you from? And if he's brought you from X, Y, and Z, count your many blessings, name them one by one, then he can bring you through. Exactly. And so Psalms 103, 1 through 5, you can read all 5 verses, but it's a great verse because the last verse says, I'll just do it. It says that who forgives Penny's sins. That's the first. I also changed the Bible verse to put my name in it. So take your pronouns and make them yours. It's like so much that I do in the group sessions that, I can't share all of it here. Right. Who forgives Penny's sins, who redeems Penny's life from destruction, who crowns Penny with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfies Penny's mouth with good things, satisfies her mouth with good things, so that her youth can be renewed like the eagles. I mean, it's in the word. It's in the word. It's in the word. We have to open the word. But yes, Onita, I definitely feel like I know that my spiritual growth has prospered because my soul has prospered. My physical growth and my spiritual growth have grown exponentially because they're combined. Amen. I love that.
Penny, can you give our audience who are here with us now, I'm going to ask this final question. One thing, there are people out there, and there are people who will watch in the future who are overwhelmed. They're like, I want to have that kind of transformation. I want to be whole. Jesus said to to the layman, wilt thou be made whole? He didn't say, would you be healed or would you get well? He said, would you be made whole?
Hello.
And we want to be made whole. But they're like, I don't know what to do. We'll give you a practical thing to do in a couple of seconds. But what would you say? Where should someone start? Like, what for you said you were like, that was one of the most significant changes I made in order to get me in the right direction.
I would say, prayer. Just
right.
That's there. And nothing comes before God. So all of the changes that we make we need to have that mindset, and the mindset is where it's going to start. It's going to say, okay, you're going to determine that on tomorrow, I'm going to walk around my house 5 times. Tomorrow, I'm going to drink water as soon as I wake up. Or today, or when you finish this broadcast, whatever it is, you set that time. And another really key thing for me is learning how to cook. Learning how to cook, and you're just getting your staple meals. And I talk about my consultations, exactly how to meal plan and how to prep, and about your grocery store insight, and so your kitchen plans. That's going to be important, because if you're forever dependent on someone else to feed you, then you lack some control. So learn how to get, whatever it is that, I like salads because I spent so many years living in the tropics. So, maybe that's for you, or maybe you like grains, or maybe you need to learn how to make, a soup or a stew or a lasagna or something, that is your go-to.
Right.
So you don't have to depend on someone else for every last. DoorDash is, not, you don't know the DoorDash delivery person by first name, because they're hey, Tina, good to see you. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. We don't want to do that. Okay, so Penny, tell them where they can. I'm going to put this up here. Penny does free consultations. The link is in the comments. You don't have to just type it out. It's in the comments. You can just click on it, schedule a free consultation with Penny so she could talk to you specifically about your challenges. Like she said, it's not one size fits all. I have worked with Penny before. I would not have her on here if I didn't think she was good. I just been like, okay, that was just a whatever decision. No, she's great. She's very attentive. She cares about you, and she will personalize your plan. But hello, guys, it's a free consultation. It's free, FREE. So please click the link, sign up, and just talk to her and see, like, how can she help you to go from sickness, even sickness that you don't realize, to wholeness. I also want to say that Penny has a book. she's a co-author here. All of her contact information is in the description. So please go there. Her email, her website, the book, all of this is in the description. We wanted to show you that. And so, Penny, final word.
Wonderful. I'm gonna say that also is a reminder that living a healthy life is, and as I mentioned, we're not perfect. We're moving to progress. So from problems to progress, it's a form of gratitude. And there is over $1 billion spent on the on healthcare, just out of pocket in the United States, and it's growing globally. And so I'm saying, save your money, save your life by living a healthier, wealthier life. And I will say, when I was in banking, I used to teach people that, to build wealth. And now I teach them to build health, because your health is your wealth. And it's very important to do whatever you can to move from problems to progress, because if we're blessed enough, we're going to age. And as we age, we're going to have more challenges. So we want to live in our purpose. Everybody has a purpose. You have a purpose. God has given every last person a gift and a purpose. So in order to live in that purpose, it behooves us to have a healthier body.
I love that. Thank you so much, Penny. I appreciate this. It's been a great conversation. You said it would be epic. I think we made that happen. Your mother agrees.
Yes, we will. Yeah. Hello to everybody watching the replay as well. So thank you.
Yes.
And thank you, Lorraine. If I may, I want to ask people to make sure that you subscribe to this channel.
Yes.
So that she can continue to get more great information and have great guests on this platform. I am Penny, also known as Plant-Based Penny, and I help people move from problems to progress with plant-based solutions. So thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, that was an awesome conversation. We are so happy to have had Penny here. That was the Live Wiser part of our process. And so we hope that you don't just hear, but actually act on this. As we said, there's a free consultation available. But even if you don't take that up, you still can make the decision, as she said, to say, tomorrow, I'm going to walk around my house. I'm going to walk around my block. I'm going to commit to that. You don't have to go from, eating meat to eating just fruit by tomorrow. Just make a decision of one thing that you can do to move from problems to progress, and so that you can be here to live the purpose that God has for you. We thank you so much. We're going to ask you to, if you are impressed, we are trying to grow this channel. We're trying to bring more guests on. We're trying to do different things. So if you could go to the website, asinglemission.com, and click the donate button, $5, $10, whatever, we would really appreciate that. We really want to do some great things with this channel. And so we're just asking if you would support us in that way. Thank you for watching. And until next time, you go out and make choices that will help you live, love, and marry wiser. God bless you.